For the past month, I have been practicing the skill of using negative thoughts to be productive. Everybody has a bad day, but what do most people do? Most people would be frustrated that the day starts horribly, continue to think about it, and turn a bad day into a worse day. I used to do this too. If I forgot one thing at my house or I forgot an umbrella when it was raining, this small inconvenience was enough to see everything else throughout my day through negative tinted glasses. It got so bad that bad days eventually turned into bad weeks, and I would be even more frustrated at myself because I just wasn't being productive. So after enough sulking, I wanted to change. I didn't want to let small negative things run my life. Coincidentally, I was reading a self-improvement book, and I came across the idea that we shouldn't ignore our negative emotions. And funny enough, not ignoring my negative emotions was the best way to stop thinking negatively. The author of the book, Tony Robbins, proposed that negative emotions are actually signals with underlying positive messages. If I'm tired and physically frustrated, my body is trying to tell me that I'm missing something important. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep, or I didn't eat breakfast, I'm lacking certain vitamins, or maybe I just need to go outside. The point is that I was doing none of these actions. I wasn't doing anything to change my mood, and I was letting external things control how I feel. At the end of the day, we're the ones that decide how we feel. We decide if we're happy or sad. We may not be able to control the things that come into our lives, but we will always be able to control what we put out into the world. This was an important realization that I needed to have so that I could start listening to those negative emotional signals. So these are more or less the steps that I do now to make my days better. Step 1 is to calm myself down. When I first started trying to find the positive message behind my negative emotions, I found that it was too hard. And this is normal. If we're in a heightened emotional state, we're not going to be able to think clearly, let alone do mental thinking that isn't intuitive yet. So how exactly do we calm ourselves down? No, it's not punching a wall or taking it out on other people. There are plenty of healthy alternatives. Working out, going to the park, listening to music, and the one that worked for me was appreciating all the good things that I have. When I'm upset, it can be hard to remember all the good things, but when I do, it makes it harder to only think about the negative things that are happening. I appreciate that I have the privilege to speak in front of a camera and tell you my thoughts, and similarly, you can appreciate something too, that you have the freedom to take some time to watch this video instead of working nonstop. The point being that there's always something to appreciate. And so anytime that I feel negative, there's bound to be something to feel positive about as well. After I've calmed down, I ask myself a question. What are my feelings trying to tell me? Am I missing anything? Our feelings are always trying to tell us something. And when we feel bad, we naturally try to move away from the pain without a plan. It's like having tape stuck to your hand. If you try to shake your arm, the tape is never going to come off. But if we take our time to stop waving our arms and lightly peel it off, we'll realize that it comes off easily and we just have to take the time to think about it. By asking these questions and figuring out what I'm upset about, it makes it easier to find the things that are actually bothering me and stops me from blaming the frustration on friends, family, or even coworkers. In identifying what the issue is, it also made creating a solution easier. When I asked myself, what am I missing? I always found that there was a direct correlation between something that I didn't have and why I was upset. I was in a bad mood because I left my house without an umbrella. In this case, it's pretty easy to see that what I was missing was an umbrella. And then there are other cases that aren't as clear-cut, like a time when I was in a bad mood because I spent too much time alone. The easy answer is to say that I was feeling lonely and missing some much-needed social time. But when I dug a bit deeper, it was more than that. I wasn't just missing people. I was missing the love and laughter that came with spending time with people. And after realizing that, it made me appreciate the people around me much more. And it became clear that I needed to make a decision. If I missed all these social aspects, I needed to plan hangouts. If I was upset that I forgot my umbrella, I need to make sure that I'm checking the weather before I leave my house every time. And this was the final part to converting negative emotions into productivity. I had to make changes that changed the path that I was going in. And by doing so, I was able to control my negative emotions better and keep myself in a productive state. If you want to follow along as I continue improving, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.